You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show, the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. We have a lot of calls here. As a result, do have two calls from 1265. Sorry, 1265. I am going to skip them. They came pre-game. We have like 50 calls, so I have to be a little bit judicious. With that said, if this would work, we could get started. By the way, while we're waiting for this to start, Packernet Studios over on Spotify, iTunes, whatever. Bunch more songs have popped up. I gave up on the whole album idea because apparently if one song has an issue, it just cancels the whole thing. So I'm not doing all that work just for it to be like, oh, never mind. So it'll probably work out a little bit better. It'll end up being a little bit easier for me just doing sort of onesie-twosie here and there. But lots of songs now available for you to listen to. So please go subscribe over on Spotify and whatnot. All right, let's give this a shot. Snacks, what's up?
Dude, running game doesn't work. Get to third down and long. Let's just throw it 55 yards down the field where two guys were open. Thank God nobody got in the way and Golden got that. But outstanding start there. Just could not have looked greater. Now this defense, it's what happened with the Bears today against the Raiders. And I don't know. The Bears offense is terrible. And if they put up as much as they did, I'm really hoping that we go gangbusters. But golly, that was efficient. That was really, really efficient. And I really love the love to Dobbs red zone connection. Jordan obviously loves him down there. But, man, just that could not have been a better start. False start, could have done without, but hopefully that's not a sign of things to come. Let's go.
It is.
It's Jersey Mike. Was that the Quay Walker coming alive party in Dallas, baby? Oh my God, number 7, way to start off a game. I know I'm probably kicking myself in the teeth later for opening my mouth like this, but go Quay Walker.
Yeah, Quay was off to a great start to begin the game. I feel like I saw him about every play for the first series or two. He was just lighting everybody up. I'm not going to say he was bad the rest of the game because I just don't remember seeing him, but that's kind of the issue. Suddenly, there's nobody who's running up, making plays, and doing all this kind of stuff. Just a whole lot of standing around and missing tackles.
And when Quay is free to roam, that dude is quick.
Yep.
Dude, how about that little lateral or pass?
There's a lot of calls in the 2 minutes of very positive things, so this is probably going to turn pretty hard here pretty quick.
Whatever it was on the run, out to the sideline to let JJ run it down to the one. And I'm watching it live right now so you can see Dobbs with a TD. Woohoo, baby. That's 2. You bet.
Dobbs had a great day, huh? How about Dobbsy? Dobbs and Jordan, I thought were pretty. The receivers and Jordan, I thought did a pretty good job.
Hey Ryan, it's Drew from Green Bay, and if you're getting a ton of calls right now, it's because we just had a extra point blocked for a 2-point conversion the other way. I think that is the moment where Matt LaFleur is going to wake up, and even me, is kind of like, yeah, there's Basaccia isn't doing a good job, but there is a lot worse. Well, after we lost the last game, and now we're giving up 2 points, even if it doesn't matter.
In addition, and it does matter, in addition, I know it's stupid to pick like one thing and say if it wasn't for this, we lose the game, because that's not necessarily how that works. When you tie, you look back at stuff like that, you recognize how much each of them matter. You can't put 100% of the blame on that, but you can look at each individual thing and recognize how important each one of these things is. And yeah, a 3-point swing Not great.
We're dominating the Cowboys right now. Even if it doesn't come back to haunt us, it's still just, it's a sign. He's got to get demoted or promoted, just, I don't know if you want to demote him to just special teams or, make him assistant head coach or get rid of him completely, whatever, but somebody else has to come in. We have entirely new rules on the kickoff. We need a new mind. And really, if you think about it, like a lot of our good special teams, like our punter and all that, we brought them in from the outside. He didn't produce McManus. He didn't, I guess, Whelan was produced, but yeah, like McManus was just someone we went out and got that was already developed. So, he kind of got bailed out on that because our kicking was a problem for a while under him. And we do give up big returns, a decent amount. And yeah, like Golden's out there not catching the ball, and that's going to be a disaster one of these times when he lets the ball hit the ground, and then he's going to try to catch it off the bounce, and he's going to fumble it, and I'm just prepared for that already. And Golden's making a lot of rookie mistakes. He did it last week, and he did it again where the ball wasn't even going to him, and he went into Wicks. Wicks and Golden were in the...
That was sort of one of those, because it worked, you let it slide. You know what I mean? You heard the calls. Everyone calls, yay, that was great. It was only great because it turned out to be a non-disaster. If he didn't catch that, he would rightly so be getting absolutely eviscerated because Wicks was open. And he would have essentially played DB and come back and just broke up that pass. Stupid, didn't mean to click that. If he didn't catch that. He didn't need to break back toward Wicks and catch that ball. Again, it all worked out. Everything's fine. But, there's a reason that you've probably never seen that before. Because that's... whatever. Again, I'm not mad at Golden in general. I think he's done a great job. In fact, I think he's doing a great job as a returner. Just the fact that he has such good hands. You watch him get laid out and not drop the ball. That is like 1 in 1,000 that doesn't drop that ball. You are coming out of a spin and get laid out that hard, and you can still hold on to the ball. So I think there's some stuff that people have been talking about with him where he's not doing a good job. So I think people are being way too harsh, as everyone tends to do in these situations. Everybody's under a microscope. Every little detail is like, oh, you're a failure because of this, that, or the other. I think it's maybe a little too harsh. But yeah, that Wicks thing was pretty bad.
Same spot. That's because Golden was on the a flag route or whatever they call it. He was slanting across the field to draw the defenders, which would have left Wicks open, but instead he turned the other way, and he should know that that's Wicks's that's a throw to Wicks. So,
and good on Wicks, by the way, because if they both go up and get the ball, probably nobody comes down with it. So even though the ball was for Wicks and he had every right to jump up and try to get it, you can see him kind of throw his hands back and be like, all right, dude, it's all you, I guess. Again, good play by Wicks to not decide, no, that's mine, I'm going to get it, or even just feeling like, I'm responsible for it, I better go get it, in which case, he wouldn't be the one getting blamed. It would be Golden, and for good reason. But, good on him, I guess, to just kind of back off and realize... if we collide trying to get this ball, probably nobody's getting it. And I can't just trust that if I go, considering he ran across the frickin' field to come get this thing, I can't assume that if I jump up for it, he'll let me get it.
That's just a rookie thing about Bisaccia. I'm done with him after that. This is just, and the offensive line, and I think we have started doing it actually. Any flag against an offensive lineman, especially like a false start, pull them out. And
we don't have bodies is the problem. We don't have anybody. That could be devastating. We're talking about guys that have never played a snap in football. They're undrafted free agents just being pulled up from the practice squad. They got no business being on an offensive line. It's one thing to kind of talk tough and have that lead with an iron fist thing. You get a single penalty, you're getting pulled. You're putting our entire offense in harm's way by putting in one of these other backups. So under different circumstances, maybe, and I don't know if I would ever do that with an offensive line. That's just too scary to be pulling people. Preseason or practice or training camp, fine. In a game like that, I don't know, dude. Maybe like a receiver or something where you can swap somebody in for a play. I don't know about offensive line, and definitely not in this situation with the complete lack of depth that we have.
Put the backup in, at least for play. You got to send these guys a message. This is crazy.
Send them a different message. Find them or something. Kick them in the frickin' throat, but don't pull him. He's got to stay out there.
Like, we're dominating it, and I feel less good about this game right now than last week because it's so freaking sloppy. All right, we need to get the W, though, so that'll make me happier at the end. All right, bye.
And as far as Bisaccia, I mean, I could be wrong. As far as I know, within the next hour, he's going to be fired. I just don't think it's going to happen because the problem is, where do you go? Who do you hire, September 29th? There's nobody out there. You're going to do an internal promotion? You think we got a really good option there? Plus, there's all the concern. I mean, if he's a guy that the players really like, now you get rid of him. You probably don't improve your special teams, and you're probably upsetting some players who are already disgruntled because of how the last 2 weeks have gone. So you're trying to hold the locker room together. You get rid of a really good locker room guy, and you didn't fix your special teams. I mean, you've just taken dynamite and thrown it into the locker room and blown it up for no good reason. Now, if you have an option, you should consider it. Certainly next year we need to consider moving on. But as far as the calls for he needs to go today, I don't know that that's going to fix anything. And I don't know that that's not going to completely destroy a lot of things. Just as far as playing devil's advocate, look, if they fire him, I'm not going to be mad about it. It just means that the Packers feel like they have an option that's better than what Bisaccia brings. But if they don't, I know everyone's going to throw a fit about, oh, you're not serious about this, and it's because he's your friend and all that. Listen, unless you can tell me how this is going to go, which you can't because you don't know, unless you can tell me how it's going to be okay with the players and how they're going to receive this, unless you can tell me who's going to step up and take over special teams that's qualified to do it and not just somebody that's worse, and yes, that is a thing, then I don't have a lot of thoughts on it other than we'll see how it goes, and my preference is next year he's gone.
Hey Ron, it's Jersey Mike. So that Pickens catch, I'm like next to positive is not a catch. They won't even review it. They won't even look at it. We have to call a timeout. I'm pretty sure that Matt LaFleur might have been yelling at them on the sideline. I don't know, but he should have been because George Pickens takes and swaps hands of which hand is the one holding on to the ball. He never fully had possession in his right hand or whatever. I think it was his right hand, and he switches it to his left. He comes down with the ball out of bounds when it switches to his left hand because the only freaking foot touching the ground is his left foot when it's in his left hand. He did not have possession of that ball. I don't even understand that. Anyway, go Pack, go.
And I'm not sure which play we're talking about. There were so many highlight Pickens plays, which freaking eye roll.
All right, this is on Matt LaFleur now. 1,000% the worst called game I have ever seen. Reckless with freaking timeouts, right? No game management whatsoever. There's no thought process here. He's stupidly not aggressive when we need to be aggressive, and then
And again, you guys got to start being more specific when you call, because this is one of the things I talked about yesterday. I don't know where he wasn't aggressive. And again, because, and I think you're about to say this, the concern seems to be he's not aggressive and he's too aggressive. Which, again, not only do I need specifics on what we're talking about, but also you're going to have to convince me that you're not just talking about success. There are certain things I'm not happy with as far as the play and Matt LaFleur, but there are so many vagaries being thrown around in terms of, like, he wasn't... Again, the fourth down thing, the idea that that's automatic, and remember, our offense couldn't do a freaking thing to start this game. Our offense was not very successful. That didn't start until later. So I mean, I really don't want to have to go back and watch this again. And we're all just kind of going off of our own feelings as we're watching the game. But it was just one of those things where I had my list of complaints and things I was upset about, and you heard several of them. And then I go on social media and I keep seeing this thing about not being aggressive. And I'm like, I just don't know what we're talking. There was never a time. And again, maybe it's because I'm a non-aggressive person in general when it comes to football. I am, as I said, a coward when it comes to being cautious. But I just don't remember ever seeing a time where I'm like, oh man, should have done that there. If anything, the biggest complaint that I think I do understand is people saying he was too aggressive, and aggressive being kind of a, maybe not the right word. I think we spent too much time on either, you can call them trick plays, or trying to push the ball down the field when we finally settled in later into this sort of dink and dunk offense, which, by the way, is exactly what happened in Cleveland, by the way. It felt like we started to get into a rhythm later when we realized that we just got to take these little underneath throws, dump it to Tucker and let him get yards after the catch. The guys, by the way, have been doing great with that. Emmanuel Wilson making plays after the catch, Savion Williams after the catch, Tucker Kraft after the catch, Wicks after the catch. These guys are like after the catch specialists. And I don't know, it just seems like 2 weeks in a row we've been trying to do something. That something doesn't work, and then when we finally figure it out, I know that's not how you want to play. I know that's how Jordan doesn't want to play. But I think Jordan's done a good job of taking what's there, right? You see him look down the field, there's nothing, he dumps it off. And again, I haven't gone back and watched this, but at least in this game, they did show a couple plays where it was kind of behind the line of scrimmage. And I see guys, you've got the one running back kind of slipping out, and the other three receivers that are running down the field, they're running way down the field. And it's kind of a question of like, when do they come out of their break and when does pressure hit? And usually it's kind of like the pressure's getting there right as somebody comes, maybe that throw could have been there, but the pressure's just getting there. And so, for me, if anything, it was too aggressive. I don't really know where the lack of aggression comes in. Again, I know there was a fourth down we didn't go for, which doesn't bother me because I don't really believe that we get it, but maybe. Again, I barely even remember it, so I don't know when that would have taken place. I don't think it was when our offense was essentially unstoppable, which even that, it never really, for me anyways, and I know this sounds stupid because of the score, it never felt like we were unstoppable. It felt to me like we were extremely efficient, but every yard was really difficult to come by. It was just Jordan essentially playing perfect. It was the receivers and running backs essentially playing perfect. When they had opportunities, they took maximum advantage of those to counteract the fact that the offensive line can't block and can't stop getting penalties. But every yard felt really difficult to come by, which makes it honestly more impressive and makes me more appreciative of what the offense did, because it really did feel like those were hard yards to come by. Maybe it was just because I was stressed and it wasn't actually that difficult, but it didn't feel easy. It didn't feel, and again, you can go back and look at it. How many 10 to 15 to 20-yard passes were there? Almost none. This wasn't like a game where it's just, there's a guy wide open down. It felt easy for Dallas. Dallas could drop back, and in 1 second, there's a guy open 15 yards down the field, and I'm talking wide open. We never had that the entire game. Nobody is ever wide open. Every pass has to be fit in perfectly, or it's a little dump off or a screen, and somebody's got to make 2, 3, 4 guys miss. Josh Jacobs had to make 3 guys miss to turn a negative 4-yard play into a 1-yard play. I don't know.
Overly aggressive with the game on the freaking line because he doesn't know what the hell to do. Are you kidding me, Matt LaFleur? Are you kidding me? Does somebody need to come over here and smack you upside the head multiple times before you pull your head out of your freaking ass? Are you freaking kidding me, Matt LaFleur? You go into that locker room and you apologize to everybody that you're too fucking stupid for your own good. Are you stupid? Are you that freaking numb, man? Come on.
And again, I don't know what we're talking about, so we just have to move along. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We got Chris from Alabama. Something else I'm confused about with the fan base is this idea that we need to come down hard on Jordan Love because of that fumble. Again, maybe I need to go back and watch it and he held the ball for 15 seconds or something, but why would I be mad at Jordan about the fumble? I'm seeing like, that was a really ugly fumble by Jordan. Like, what? It got punched out of his hand, right? I don't know. Sometimes this happens where I'm sitting here looking at the fan base going, what conversations are we even having here? I'm just confused. Anyways, Chris from Alabama.
What's going on, Ryan? Chris from Alabama.
So,
Halftime of the game. And I guess you can tell by the tone of my voice I'm not too pleased with what's going on. At first, everything was going pretty smooth. Seemed like we can just move the ball at will on them, and they couldn't do anything. But then the last 2 minutes of the first half happened, and all of a sudden we down by 3 damn points. I don't know how in the hell that happened. But however in the hell that happened, it don't need to continue. We don't need to turn the ball over and the doggone false start and holding penalty, Jordan Morgan. We need to tighten this up. I don't want to hear Jordan Morgan. I don't want to hear number 70 and number 77 name again no more in this game. Or I might just throw something in my TV. Because every time a penalty is either 77 or 70, and it's pissing me off. Tired of the penalties. Let's get this thing together. We are a better team than this team that we playing. And then I got all the way back in the game because of the stupid, dumb mistakes that we making. Let's tighten this up. Let's go ahead and do what we need to do in the second half and go ahead and take care of these clowns because I'm not trying to lose no Dallas Cowboys. Don't pay going out talk to y'all after the game.
yeah, and again, that just kind of is mine and I think everybody's feeling of like, why is this so hard? Why are you making this so hard? Again, we scored 40 points, so it maybe it's a silly thing, and maybe I'm alone in this, but man, the offense felt like it was just struggling to get down the field, partially with the penalties and everything else, but I mean, there's no run game, and every pass was like just trying to squeeze blood out of a stone or whatever the thing is. And then defensively, it was just a joke. Trying to ask these guys to make a tackle or to hustle or to cover or to do anything was just like, give me a freaking break. I mean, it just, again, like you said, we're sitting here and you're looking at the score and you're going, what are we doing? Like, there was still a feeling of like, we have to win this. I mean, we're obviously better than them, I'm assuming, but like, what is happening right now? What are we doing? Of course, that's not what happened, and this continued for the entire what has essentially been 8 quarters now of just what is happening.
What in God's name just happened there? Holy Moses. I mean, I don't know. I can't tell. Like, was the catch by Pickens kind of a lucky break? And they scored, got some momentum. I mean, they did march down the field, so that wasn't lucky. I have no problem with them with 40 seconds trying to get down the field. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. I guess Jordan needs to have a little more awareness from his behind him, but I think our line is trouble, man. With the block PAT, that starting to kind of show some holes. That's it. Second half, we're going to need some, golly, we looked so good in that first quarter. Let's hope we can find that back.
Yeah, first quarter felt, and again, that's why I was saying I'm so tired of hearing about, oh man, they're dominating, and this is a runaway by the Packers, and I saw some Packer fans doing that too, and it's like, guys, we're up by 7. That's it. Like, 7 points.
Hey, Ryan, I'm sorry if I fell up your calls. So, apparently Matt LaFleur heard me, or at least he understands the problems that he's causing right now, because when he was asked about what needs to be done, and the only thing he said was that his offense, there was nothing to say about the offense. They need to do better. That was it. He's like, but the defense has been good. You know, obviously we got to keep him out of the end zone, but like the defense is.
Well, they certainly fixed that. The defense was no longer good, so they fixed that problem.
Been good all night. And like it's kind of like he started to get annoyed because he was actually thinking about like what he has to go say because he's got to go take accountability. I hope that's the message. But here's my prediction how the rest of the game is going to go, because this is exactly what I've seen from Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur is going to expect his defense to win this game somehow.
Quietly.
He's going to somehow try to run the football coming out of the half. He's going to run the ball more. No, this is what he needs to do, because I guarantee you'll go back to the tape and this is what happened on multiple instances. He's getting cute with the dinky dunky stuff. He's trying to test the safeties long down the field when he's not doing what he should be doing. I'm watching these safeties go stretching down the field. If he would bring a guy underneath and then just have them go outside, outside the guy who's taking the safety out of the play. Like, it would be so easy. You could get a guy in so easy. A Tucker Graf, a Luke Musgrave. But there's there's none of that. And I'm watching. He's just calling the wrong play in the wrong instance over and over and over again. And I mean, look, you know, we've always talked about he's a really good play caller. You know what? Sometime, somehow, some way, he got too cute. And he thought that, like, oh, because he's got this prowess, he's got to stick by that. And he never adapted. You know, like we've got another instance where Josh Jacobs runs for like 12 yards almost, right? But it gets called back for a penalty or something like that. Or he does like an 8-yard run and he gets to 8 yards, right? I've seen other teams do this. I've done this before when I played football. You run the same exact play out of a slightly different formation until they can stop you. Or you run it out of the same formation and you go right back to it. You rush up back to the line when they're trying to sub somebody out and you run the same exact play and then you have a run break for like 40 or 50 yards because you've got Josh Jacobs. But no, because you want to wait until the end of the game I don't like you, Matt LaFleur. What are you doing right now?
Well, again, I don't recall any of that. It's so hard to respond to stuff like that because it's like I don't recognize other teams really doing that a ton, maybe once in a while, but we're especially talking about a game where, again, the Packers can't really run the ball. There might have been a play where we broke one. Usually those happened at the end of the game. But again, this is also one of those things, too, where because everyone's trying to find like different issues, I'm hearing completely opposite things. Right now, I'm watching social media as they're screaming about the fact that why are we running the ball at all? Just don't run the ball. We can't run the ball. So just throw it. And at the same time, I got Jersey Mike saying, why don't you just run the ball and then rush to the line and run the ball again? So there seems to be like this panic thing that happens after or during a loss where everyone's searching for answers. And people start throwing out all kinds, and you know they all contradict each other, but everyone agrees with all of them at the same time because everyone's just mad, and we want to just, you know, be mad. I don't know. Yeah, maybe we should have, after a good run to the line. I mean, it's a very specific request that maybe we could have done and maybe would have worked. I don't know. It's like the first time I've ever heard this even suggested by anybody ever. So you know. It's not like conventional wisdom that we're dealing with here. So, again, it's hard to specifically engage with. It's almost like what we would need to do just as a group is get together, rewatch the game, which I don't want to do, and just kind of go through and be like, okay, what are our thoughts here? And again, a lot of the time, what you're going to have is if a play didn't work, everybody's thought is, well, I would have done something else. And if a play works, it's finally he's doing what I would have done. You know what I mean? Not to say everything in every instance, because I know that there are times when we say I don't like this. Like the entire end of the half thing where we're trying to push the ball down the field. I didn't feel good about that. Now again, that's my personality. Again, I am a what? I'm a coward. I didn't like that. We didn't have a lot of time. I'm okay with taking a shot, right, to see how it goes. Let's gauge this a little bit. That's what you usually do, right? You don't want to just concede out of the gate. But Jordan almost throws a pick that first play. And now I'm looking at it, it's second down. You have to be concerned about them having enough time to score. We have a long way to go. Things have been shaky all half. We just had a catastrophe. Everything is working in Dallas's favor. I don't like this. Then what do? I think we run the ball, get a good amount of yards, but now we're really killing some time here. Everything about it just felt wrong. I mean, the cost-benefit was bad to begin with, and it started getting worse with every single play to the point where it's like the odds that we're actually going to get down there and kick a field goal and make that field goal, as opposed to the odds that some kind of a catastrophe happens, and what happens? Dallas gets the ball and goes and scores. Now, again, if it worked, then nobody would be upset about it. But just to say that, sometimes we have feelings about things and they end up coming true. But I also think Matt LaFleur probably does things a lot and they work. And then when they stop working, we say that Matt LaFleur should never do those things. And it's like, well, I don't know that Matt LaFleur should never do those things. I think he's doing the things that have been working for a very long time, including this year, like 2 weeks ago. And so, I don't know about these broad sweeping, like he needs to stop doing that. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe, but then go to what? I have no idea. I don't know what we're supposed to be doing right now.
Hey, Ryan, it's Craig. It's halftime of the Cowboy game. I'm sure you're getting lots of phone calls.
Lots.
Special teams, penalties, and turnovers. Deja vu all over again from the Cleveland Brown games, or almost.
It is actually shocking how similar it was. You know, I mean, Cleveland, you got that big turning point because of a turnover that ended up kind of costing us the game. You can look at it this way. You got special teams and a turnover that kind of cost us the game. It felt different because of the scoring, the high scoring or whatever, but man, the similarities are crazy.
Any other upset we've been on the wrong side of? Just terrible. We just looked like we were dominating until the last 5 minutes of the half. We'll hopefully we can get a turnover of our own or get 3 and out, get the ball back, do some scoring. We'll go back up. Bye.
Yeah, sorry to inform you that does not happen. All right, let's take our final break. We'll come back. We got Chris from Alabama again.
Chris from Alabama. One more thing, man, for halftime over with, man. Man, we are a better team than this team, man. There's no way we should be down 3 points. And the only thing we really had to do, even though I really am pissed off at the fact, man, if we just come out and do what we was doing before the blunders of the last 2 minutes, we be dead, all right, man. It ain't even that big of a concern, man. I clearly can see that we are extremely better than this team. We are beating ourselves right now. As long as we don't beat ourselves, we win this football game. But we come out and be dummies and come continue with the stupid penalties and the stupid mistakes and the turnovers and all that and beat ourselves. That's the only way we lose this ball game, man. As long as we have a clean second half, we come out with the victory, man. Go Pack, go. I'll talk to y'all after the game, man.
And
tighten up, bro.
One of the other funny things about this is, as far as like the takes and all that kind of stuff, they come out so fast and furious that, you know, I start seeing stuff on social media that by the third quarter, it's already a bad take. So it'll be interesting to see the calls from here moving forward after halftime, because the first half was Matt LaFleur is bad at this. One of the tweets I saw is that Jeff Hafley will be a head coach next year and it'll be of the Green Bay Packers. Well, second half of this game, the offense dominated and the defense couldn't do a frickin' thing. So that take went to 0 pretty fast. So I'm interested to see how these calls evolve here, because there's a lot of good that happens offensively and a lot of awful that happens defensively.
All right, you're getting kind of a subdued snacks, but that looked better. Offense looked good. Cheese slices for 6. You know, you can kind of say, well, we got lucky with the penalty, but not really. I mean, he was holding them downfield. He can't do that. So that takes an option away from him. And as he was trying to get away, the only way that he could get him was grabbing the face mask. So, all right, stop them, got ours. Now let's do that a couple more times and get some separation. Can't leave these guys hanging around like this. Just can't do it.
There is a little bit of hanging around going on.
Dude, J-Dubs. God, I like the dispersion of the play call in there. I like keep going at the ground, try and wear them out a little bit. All right, now we need our defense to step up like the defense they're supposed to be, not the defense that we've had for however long. Let things happen late. All right, hanging on.
Interested to see how Romeo Dobbs grades out, and even statistically, he's probably going to be taking some jumps here in a way that he hasn't in the past. But I that was the one thing I was thinking at halftime or overtime. Man, if he could get a 4th touchdown to win as a walk-off, that would just be beautiful. Of course, that's not what happened.
Well, there that goes. The old defense that we love and whatever else is going to stop them. I mean, I'm Dallas credit. They look exceptionally well, almost like they did against Philly the first game of the season. But come on, man, without Lamb, without a couple of their offensive linemen, I mean, geez. And now we get faced with a very similar situation, which we tend to find ourselves in quite a bit. And it generally doesn't turn out well. But, all right, Jordan, let's flip the script. Flip the damn script for once. Let's change the whole new path and just say, man, we got away with a win. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, and, I mean, as much as I want to complain about the referees and the holding that took place on every single play, and it is absolutely disgusting how much that happened, it almost doesn't matter because they got the ball out in 1 second to a wide open guy. So, you know, we might as well just give Parsons back to Dallas if we can't cover, because what's the point? What's the point? If you can't cover for 2 seconds, Parsons can't get there. Neither can Rashawn or Van Ness or anybody else for that matter. And those numbers are about to plummet because nobody's going to generate pressures or sacks. So what's the point? Let's just give them back. Let's see if we can get our picks back. I mean, I'm being sarcastic, but seriously, I mean, Halfley and the boys, we got to figure something out because, I mean, it's just you got to cover for 2 seconds. That's all I'm asking of you.
Holy Moses! Romeo, dark helmet, Dobbs. All right, D. Now is the time.
Yeah,
man,
yeah, definitely.
Outstanding.
Definitely the time. So that was 10:30. Here's 10:43. So I'm guessing Dallas went down and scored because that's 15 minutes later, which is about 3 minutes of football time. So probably sounds about right. That's all it takes.
All right. A run from Eau Claire going into overtime. Jordan Love has played really well this game. Romeo Dobbs obviously has too. But I'm nervous that this will go to Dallas and that the defense will be able to stop them. So let's hope.
Well, I mean, fortunately, we did have the clock in our favor. We really mismanaged that. I mean, I think maybe that could be overstated a little bit. I do understand wanting to drain the clock. You want to make sure you are the last team to have a possession no matter what. So the worst case scenario is we tie. But man, we really took that to heart and drained it obviously too much. I mean, in reality, we probably wanted another 10 seconds. So it's a pretty tough balancing act to get exactly that. But yeah, that was not probably more than that actually, because technically that last play, that wasn't really a play. That was just a run to the line, see what we can do and scramble another 20 to even 30 seconds so that you can actually huddle up, get the right plays in, run 2 more plays before you have to kick a field. Yeah, that was bad. So, I mean, fortunately, it didn't come down to our defense needing to make a stop, but, here we are.
Well, buddy, here we are. Split the damn uprights, and what was the name of our old kicker? The guy that nobody liked? Man, thank goodness. Let's just pull this out. I want to go to bed.
That's how I felt. I mean, when I was watching it, I was like, the worst part about this at the end of the fourth is that obviously if we don't do this, we lose. But if we do, we have to do this again in overtime. And I really I'm not rooting for us to lose because that's a bridge too far, obviously. But man, I don't want to go into overtime. I don't want to do this anymore. I just had to keep reminding myself how much it sucks if we lose this game to be like, okay, I guess we have to keep fighting. But this is freaking miserable. But I suppose that's a decent enough spot to stop at the end of the 4 quarters. We'll deal with the overtime calls and all the fallout after the fact. We still have 30 calls to get through, so appreciate all the calls, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.